When it's all said and done, they gon' call me a legend. I love to break bread, but I'd rather break records.
Fighter has ever been. And there's nothing quite like some good ass Tekken. Even so, there's always room to evolve. After I got a few hours of hands-on time with a preview build of Tekken 8, it's clear how it can take the franchise in a bold new direction. That freshness is the core gameplay mechanics, specifically the heat system and special style, as well as smaller changes that reward aggressive play. Turning up the heat system. The heat system represents a fundamental change with Tekken's gameplay. It's a brand new gameplay mechanic for every fighter on the Tekken 8 roster that, at any point, once per round, allows you to activate heat to access new attacks, open opportunities for sick combos, and enhance your character's core moveset. Think of it as another meter that can create an advantage for you by allowing you to be more offensive in your approach. However, the intricacies of using the heat system effectively is where the game gets more technical. Heat Burst is an attack executed by a single button press that activates your heat state and adds one stock to your heat gauge. If the attack hits you, you get a flashy little move that opens up a combo opportunity, and even on block, it at least staggers your opponent briefly. But you also have heat engages, which are more complex, character-specific moves that also activate heat and add 2 stocks to your gauge. You can follow up heat engages with a heat dash, consuming 1 heat stock, which will send your character running towards the opponent, giving you the chance to start a big combo. If the heat engager is blocked, you can still use a heat dash to close the gap and keep applying pressure. Lastly, there is the heat smash. Regardless of how much heat and stock you have left, it will deplete the rest of the meter in exchange for a powerful attack akin to a super or EX move seen in other fighting games. Those are just some of the options you'll be working with while under a heat state. More passive effects are also crucial to gaining the upper hand. For example, heat can enhance certain moves to make them do more damage or change the properties of the moves themselves. For example, Jun has a few strong attacks that also inflict damage on herself, but when she has heat active, this property is negated, allowing you to use those attacks without penalty. Xiao Yu gets access to more devastating combo strings. King has inescapable throws, and Kazuya transforms into devil mode. These are just a few examples of how every character plays even more differently now and leans harder into their specific fighting styles to bring a new depth and diversity to Tekken's brawls. Tekken's fighting styles to bring quickly now and leans harder into their specific fighting styles to bring a new depth and diversity to Tekken's brawls. Tekken Sigma's more mode quickly now and leans harder into their specific fighting styles to bring a new depth and diversity to Tekken's brawls. Tekken series director Katsuhiro Harada also sees this as a way to intrigue players into learning characters they wouldn't otherwise play. Quote, because of the differences in the heat system for each individual character, players will start off with their main, but then they'll see the command list and see what makes another character more unique in a heat state that they'll gradually want to try other characters as well, and we really think it will induce that exploration. It's also another layer that high-level players are going to have to account for when facing certain characters and attempting to read their opponents. The heat system has essentially replaced Rage Drive from Tekken 7. While they share a few similarities, Heat is designed to give players more control over how to use their character throughout a match, rather than just when they're low on health. Although each character still has Rage Arts at low health, which is now a unified command input. As such, Heat isn't necessarily a comeback mechanic and is instead a layer that changes the flow of a match and opens up new possibilities in competitive play. As a Tekken veteran, I appreciate the dynamic it creates, smartly weaving the core tenets of the franchise and its characters into a mechanic that adds depth, without overshadowing the gameplay foundation that has made Tekken special in the first place. Tekken 8 is all about offense. The changes in core mechanics were also intended to encourage more aggressive playstyles, and this manifests in multiple ways. For the heat system in particular, once it's active, it'll last for 10 seconds, so you'll definitely want to make the most of it. However, the timer pauses when you're in the middle of an attack animation or when your opponent is down. This means it's possible to be in a heat state for a lot longer if you play your cards right. Attacks during heat, as well as other powerful moves in a normal state, will also cause chip damage, but leave behind recoverable health, which hasn't been a feature since Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Recoverable health is indicated by a grey bar in Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Recoverable health is indicated by a grey bar in the player's health gauge, and it can be gained back by landing attacks, further rewarding aggressive play. And while it's not exactly a change to the gameplay system itself, Rage Arts have been revamped to now be bombastic, over-the-top animations with cinematic cuts, like their Out of Dragon Ball Fighter Z or Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Proton Cannon!
Just watch back Laz's Rage Art in Tekken 8 and tell me he's not channeling his best impression of Sasuke's Chidori with his super fast lightning strikes. Every character has a new Rage Art animation, and I can imagine the hype they'll build as a player in a heated moment or as a spectator on the edge of their seat. Although they may seem like small features, Tekken 8 seems to be addressing one of the criticisms of the competitive scene. Tekken 8 seems to be addressing one of their seat. Although they may seem like small features, Tekken 8 seems to be addressing one of the criticisms of the competitive scene. Slower and not so exciting moments where players hunker down to play extra defensively. There can still be an element of that in Tekken 8, but at least both players have new offensive tools to create avenues for turning the tide of a match. A special style of approachability. As if the aforementioned additions and changes aren't enough to shake things up, Tekken 8 also features what's called special style. It's a simplified control scheme for newcomers to do cool combos and stronger attacks with easier strings of button inputs. Many fighting games have something similar to this, like Guilty Gear's Stylish Mode or Street Fighter 6's modern control scheme. What makes Tekken 8's special style different is that it can be toggled on and off instantly while in a fight. It does not take any frames or animations to swap between normal controls and special style. You just press L1 or LB and your controls switch schemes. You can mix and match these control schemes as part of your approach in a match. Even Harada says that, theoretically, high-level players can find ways to take advantage of this system and incorporate it into their repertoire. Quote, "It wasn't just designed for beginners, but for intermediate and advanced players as well. From the start, when we decided to have it as something you can do on the fly, that opened up all these different possibilities that we were thinking of when actually designing the system itself," he said. Harada continued, quote, "For more advanced players, I guess you could say one good example is in the past with Rage Arts. Some of them required double button presses, and if you're in a tournament with your nerves just going crazy, even those players would sometimes mess up, so they would sometimes bind it to one button to reduce those kinds of risks. We saw similar things in our debugging team, where maybe they would switch with a certain timing if they wanted to use a certain movement and didn't want to mess it up. Lowering the barrier to entry is key to onboarding players, but another one of the noticeable shortcomings of Tekken 7, especially by today's standards, was its lack of proper tutorialization. Command lists, suggested combos, and a free practice training mode are all well and good for those with some fighting game or Tekken experience. But newcomers or lapsed players don't have much to guide them. I noticed Tekken 8's in-game command list has detailed explanations for what each character's moves do and their properties, and some even include suggestions on how to incorporate them into combos or specific situations. Tekken can get quite complex, and with a huge roster, it's tough to get good with each character, so it gives me hope that Tekken 8 could properly address this area. Getting ready for the next battle. The new mechanics of Tekken 8 aren't necessarily new to fighting games in general, but in the context of the series and Tekken's core gameplay, it brings a whole other dynamic that can change the course of competitive play. Upon first impression, and with a couple hours of playing the preview build, I immediately felt the nudge towards playing aggressively, which is the developer's intent. It's the Tekken I know and love, but with a few extra tools that keep the momentum going in each match. I didn't have enough time in the lab to see all the potential of the heat system, get a full grasp of my old favorite in June, or reacquaint myself with Xiao Yu, but I can't wait until I can. Unfortunately, we still don't know when Tekken 8 will launch, but when it does, it'll be available for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Hindi papasok. Dude man, Tekken 8 naglalabasan na yung mga gago. This was 7 minutes ago when we played it. Kaya pala nagulat ako nung sinabi sa akin ni MJB at the part na inaano siya. Oh my god, pati si main man, he was playing Tekken 8. Dude, where are they playing? Are they in Japan? Ang swerte naman ng mga to, men. What the fuck, bro? They're playing everywhere practically. Swerte naman nila, men. Okay, first impression, bago tayo lumipat dun sa okay. I'm gonna be nitpicky here. I'm gonna be nitpicky sa mga parts na when it comes to HUD. Okay, HUD. This is one of the least impactful KOs that I've seen sa Tekken when it comes to Tekken. Kailangan pa rin yung tawag dito? Alam niyo yung KO na alam niyo patay, tapos na talaga yung laban. At this point parang magi-slow mo, pero this is a simple text. 2024, no dates. Ayun po ang natin. Tekken 8 natin na release. No dates pa po. Hindi pa siya ina-announce. Anyways, ito parang ang less impactful niya, men. Ayun, pwede pero late na namulan ng maayos. Okay. Ito, isa pa to, men. Kaming mga arcade players back then, or patay mga streamers, or basta, you get my point. Alam niyo naman importante itong mga wins na ganito. It should have been bigger. Like Tekken 7 dapat malaki siya. Ngayon parang liit na lang, men. Ako nga naiirita nga ako na maliit lang dito yung win streak dito sa Street Fighter, men. Ngayon ang liit na rin niya. Sana lumaki pa to, men. Sana lumaki pa siya. Yun yung natin dito. Yun yung may pagka-nitpicky ako sa part na yun. Tekken 6 have way bigger text. Better. Parang
After I got a few hours
sige, tingnan. Kahit yung mga round din na round 1, fight.
It can take the franchise in a bold new direction. That
I'm not a fan sa mga ganyan nila.
The heat system
It should have been impactful kasi magsisimula na yung laban, ganyan. Pero hindi Saan ba yung mga baka hindi lang ako fan nung text. This is me being nitpicky. Gameplay wise, man, maganda siya tignan. It feels like this is Tekken 7 pero
with easier strings of button inputs.
Kasi,
Many fighting
alam nyo
games
naman,
have
Tekken
something
7,
similar to this, like
Tekken 7
Guilty
feels
Gear's stylish
way,
mode or
way,
Street Fighter 6's modern control
amazing
scheme.
pagdating
What makes
sa
Tekken
pag ikaw yung
8's special
naglalaro.
style different is that it can be toggled on
Diba?
and off instantly,
Gameplay-wise,
while in
I have no
fight,
issue with it.
does not take any
Naalala
frames
ko
or
yung mga tao, ang
animations to
dami
stop
nag-aalala dyan sa
normal
recoverable
controls.
gauge. Ngayon, nalaman na natin na
You
pag
just press
kumokombo ka,
R1 or LB and your controls
tawag dito
switch
pa,
speeds.
once na na-launch mo yung kalaban mo, yung kalaban mo nagkakaroon ng recoverable gauge in some percent. Tapos, pag ikaw, ayun, habang kinokombo mo rin yung kalaban mo, pag meron ka ding meron ka rin recoverable gauge, magre-recover din siya. Tama yung speculation natin nun. And people are fucking, tawag dito, parang nag-aalala yung mga viewers natin dito nun eh. And I had to explain it. And turns out I was right. Na there's nothing to worry about the recoverable health gauge. Mas kukunat lang kayo, which is good din naman, para hindi din naman OP yung juggles. Baka kasi, tawag dito, may mag-ala-akuma na naman dyan, tapos walang recoverable health gauge. May yun yung yun yung sigurong gustong gawin ng ng Tekken development ng mga developers dito sa Tekken na papadalin uli nila yung laro ng konti, pero it's not as impactful as from Tag 2 to Tekken 7. Papadaliin pa rin nila ng onte with this. And I'm completely fine with it. It's a great way to spice things up. Yung siguro dati sa amin, nung nalaman namin tungkol sa armor moves, rage art, etc. Na umaangal pa kami. Sa totoo lang, umaangal kami nun na yung mga kalas, yung mga generic na kalas, simpleng 1-2 na lang. Hindi siya ganun kalala. At least this time, lang siya. This is at least to spice things up. Tekken Tag 2 from Tekken Tag 2 to Tekken 7, it is to change things up to make it a easier game para sa mga nanonood. Ay, sa mga naglalaro, sa mga gusto pumasok sa laro. They've done a successful job pagdating doon. Naka-adjust din naman kami mga galing Tag 2. Tapos ngayon, at least ngayon dito, since maganda yung reception ng Tekken 7, they're not gonna change things up ng masyado. Lalagyan lang nila ng recoverable health para tawag dito, para hindi ganun kasakit yung combo. And I think that's a good way to do so. Ngayon, let's try.
What's up?
This is the first time na nakita ko yung versus screen. I'm not sure if you're a fan. Okay? It feels like na ano yung text sa tingin niya na sinabi niyang Paul dito, tas Jack. I'm not saying that I'm not impressed, pero tingnan natin. Let's just see. I-mute na lang natin si main Mansui. Okay, at least makita man lang natin yung gameplay. Gusto ko makita yung mga animation. At least we can review Tekken right now. Tingnan, gumaganon bago pa gago, angas, men, ng angas.
Those 8.5.
Gumaganon siya. Angas, men. Angas, oh. And tingnan yung stance ni Jack. It looks different. Parang mas na siya, mas mas lumiit ba siya kumpara sa Tekken? At this, yung ganyan yung tsura. Parang mas firm yung niya yung stance niya. Notice me, senpai, sabi ni Jens. Teka lang, para-play naman yung killers na part when enemy was on guard ba, biglang may bawas. Sorry, Jens, sorry. Di ko nakita kaagad. What? Tama ba yung nakita ko? You're on guard pero once they hit you na malapit ka sa walls, may bawas na. Ito, Jens. Ang explanation doon, yung font, umaangal din ako sa font sa totoo lang. Sorry Jens. Dun sa Lars na ano, di ko nakita kagad yung ano mo, yung comment mo. Pero may damage on wall. Baka ano, baka recoverable health gauge yun. Pero sa totoo lang, kahit ako Romre, ano eh. Medyo umangal din ako dun sa gray health eh. Ay, minsan ano pala, sa mga text. She played Tekken, pero, okay. Tignan nyo na lang yung ano, tignan natin dito men. Sana may makita pa tayo. I really wanna check these gameplay out. Parang ngayon sila naglalabasan ngayon ng gameplay eh. There's too much content in one go right now. I'll show you. Who's greatest in the universe? Angas nung galing sa taas, men. Parang ang ganda nung, ang ganda yung nasa taas siya. Wait, tingnan na, pagpagabi na, parang night na, kasi ano yung sa Xiaoyu trailer, may araw pa eh. Tapos maaliwalas, tapos hindi nagkakagulo yung mga tao. Dito more on chaotic na siya, kasi gabi na. Mamaya magiging chaotic na. Hindi, parang ganun pa rin yung ambience niya kahit ano. Kahit round 2 na. Kailan siya maggagabi? Sorry. Gago, combo ka agad yun eh, no? Eto, kita mo may gray health siya uli. May gray health siya, oh. Proton Cannon! Ay, hindi nawala! Gago, nawawala kapag tumatama yung Rage Art. The fuck, bro? Do you see that? Nawawala yung red, yung ano niya, yung recoverable health bar nyo kapag natama kayo ng Rage Art. Uy, shoutout sa sa pinsang kong si Shane Dizon at kay Christian Corpus. Welcome back. Gago, tracking yung FF1 plus yung Jack. Gago, min. Okay. Okay. Tignan nyo, tracking, ayun o. FF11 yun. Get. Ow, okay. Same combos pa rin ginagawa nila. Skiri with the perfect. Ay, ano pa rin, may down back ko. Ang ganda naman nun, men. From top view. Ang ganda naman pinanggagalingan ng eksena, men. From top view, minsan from bird's eye view. Minsan, zoom out to zoom in. Gusto ko yung I like the change. Okay. Ay, nagiging gabi na paunti-unti kasi round 3, lampas round 3 na. So, pag round 1 at round 2, parehas pa rin na ambience. Pero pag round 4 na, gabi na. Same as the Noctis stage. Oh, okay. Oo nga naman. Ang angas na. Galing siya sa talo. Oh. Alam mo yun, ito yung vibe sana eh. Gina, ito na. Seryoso na. Ito yun eh, ito. Seryoso na. yun yung vibes na yun eh, seryoso na. 3, 1, 2. Ganun yung vibes niya eh. Skiri. Hindi siya kumakombo. 1+2 may 1+2 pa rin si Jack. Hindi nga na-implement dito yung mga moves ni Jack na bago. Mahirapan pa sila. Baka kasi potential final round parang sa Dragon's Nest. Ang angas eh, no? Ang angas nung part na seryoso na. Parang puro Paul at Jack ipapakita nila dito. Baka kasi potential final round. Oo nga, no? Pag potential final round, dun nagiging gabi yung stage. Urban Square Evening. Oo nga. Can we see other characters? Parang ito lang yung gameplay na meron siya. Puro Jack at Paul lang. Gago, men, nainggit tuloy ako pumunta ng Japan. Nagsisisi na ako, men. Dapat magja-Japan kami ni Bingay ngayon. Kaso, sabi namin mag-ipon na lang kami for 2024 eh. Parang biglaan lang kasi naming naisip. Parang gusto at ito yung mga gameplay na mga gameplay na gusto lang muna nila ipakita. Lahat ng FG ngayon puro may hit sa Tekken drive, drive sa SF6. Galing naman talaga sa 2D yung ganung mechanic. Pero maganda rin naman yung implementation sa Tekken. Parang naging siguro naging testing nila sa 2D characters yung yung ganitong system. Bumagay at nagustuhan ng tao. It is not scary as people made it out to be nung sinasabi nila nung sa Tekken World Tour, yung nag-PowerPoint presentation nila. PowerPoint presentation sila. Mukhang sila. Tawag dito. It's just a good way to spice things up. Gogo combo. So yun, tawag dito sa mga nag-aalala, we're gonna be alright. Pero we really have to experience it for ourselves. Once na there is one player na umabuso ng mechanic ng drive, tignan natin kung anong klaseng pagkakaiba talaga yung meron. Is this the same ata ito? Same. Uy, gago, men, angas si Jack doon. Ngayon ko lang nakita, putang ina. Ganun siya. Ayan, seryoso na. Akin na to. Parang si Paul naman, puta, akin na to. Okay, konti pa. I love the personality sa mga characters before the round starts. Ito yung wala ito yung tinanggal nila nung Tekken 4 Correct me if I'm wrong, pero alam ko Tekken 4 nawala yun kasi at Tekken 4 they can start moving around Tapos ngayon, tuwing kunwari potential final rounds or round 5, doon na nag-iiba. At tawag dito, doon na sila kumikilos ng ganun. Iba-iba na yung camera angle sa simula ng round. I love the small details pagdating sa mga ganyang sa mga fighting games. Iba kasi talaga pag parang same gameplay nga to, men. Paulit-ulit. Ayos na, seryoso na. Ganun na ganun Importante talaga sa na nakikita nung player yung yung personality ng characters na ginagamit nila. So they can relate more to them. Okay, ito na yung nakita natin kay Main Man Sui. Tignan nga natin kung may iba pang Tekken 8 gameplay dito, men. Ang dami Ayun, pati si IGN nag-post Tekken 3 meron. Tekken Tag 1 meron. Tekken 4 na wala. Yeah, shoutout sa Luis Vita. Ay, gago, sorry. Shoutout sa Luis Vita Rebelayo. Let's try watching the next one. Pause ko lang yung kanta.
I've been a casual enjoyer of the Tekken series pretty much all throughout its lifespan. With its cabinets being a regular spot where I would
panoorin natin lahat ng mga videos nila, men. Andito na tayo down 2-3 talaga, men. Nag-flip na Pinaghalong Pijak at Gigas. I like the idea.
That's going
At
to
least
change
alam mong
with
robot yung
Tekken 8
ginagamit mo.
because after spending about 4 hours with it,
Well, alam naman
I'm
natin
all
na
in.
robot yung ginagamit natin ng Tekken 7. Pero mas mukhang robotic si Jack, si prototype Jack eh.
While I am
Tapos
a
ano pa,
self-admitted casual
parang
fan
mas may
of the
personality
Tekken
siya na
series, I
robot.
have at least dabbled enough with
Yung ano
Tekken
tawag
7 to
dito,
be able to
yung
talk about
clunky
the
na
most
robot.
defining differences
Ganung peg si ano
between
eh.
it and Tekken 8. Chief among
I don't know
those
if that's
changes is
a
the
term
new system,
or a word.
which is all about enforcing
Maybe you know
one of
what I
Tekken 8's
mean.
biggest design goals, rewarding aggression. With the press of a button, a character can use a heat burst to enter heat.
And
The
may
effects
heat.
of it differ from character to character, but in general,
Actually, may
you can
mga
view it as a
nakakalimutan akong term sa
limited
heat.
time
Meron
state
yung
where you're
raw
basically
heat.
better at everything.
Meron
Certain
yung
moves have
heat
new
engager,
properties,
yun lang yung
others
naalala ko, heat
recover
engager,
faster,
saka heat
making
smash.
them more
Pag may heat ka na,
advantageous to
may
unlock,
heat
and
smash,
you gain
tapos yung
access
isa
to
pang
moves that
hit na
aren't
ano, pang
available
combo extend. Yung ito
One
yung
of the
ginawa ni
key
Jun.
elements of heat mode is that while it
Ito yung
is
ginawa,
time limited,
yung ginawa ni
the meter
Jun
that
dito.
slowly depletes once activated, you can actually stop that meter from going down by landing attacks.
Hindi yan, hindi yan.
This is just one of
Ito.
the ways that Tekken 8 looks to encourage its players to be more aggressive.
Ay,
Because
hindi.
if you're able to push the
Si Jun
pace
ba
and
yun?
land hits while in heat mode, you can
Ayan,
keep that
kid.
state going throughout most, if not all of the round.
Hindi.
And if you decide
Sorry,
that you
sorry.
instead want to cash out on damage rather than remain in heat mode, you can use
Or ba-
a
ay,
heat
gago, hindi-
smash,
di ako
which is like a
pumipindot.
mini rage art super move that does a large amount of damage but
Ba't
spends
puro
the rest
puso yung rage art, yung mga female character? Totoo ba?
The heat system goes deeper
Pag
than that, too.
ano, puso,
In addition to there
dibdib
being
yung
heat meter,
tinitira,
there
man.
are also these little icons that govern your usage of certain actions while in heat.
Dude, ay,
There are
ang
also
angas
these
nung
little
ano, ang
icons
angas
that govern
nung
your
pag
usage
na
of
wall
certain
splat ka,
actions
titilapon
while
ka
there
na.
being heat meter.
Eto.
There are also these little
Ay,
icons that
pag
govern
na
your
wall splat
usage
ka, tapos breakable yung wall, titilapon ka na. Pero, naka-bound state ka, at pwede kang i-combo ng kalaban mo.
actions while in heat mode. This is called heat energy. And if you enter heat mode with a heat burst, you'll only get one stock of it. However, if you use what's known as a heat engager, you'll enter heat mode with 2 stocks. These
Ayan,
are special moves
heat
that, when
engager.
landed, will instantly put your character into the heat state. Every character
Heat
has
state.
5 of them, and they're
Ayan,
usually
heat
a handful of
engage.
the most defining moves of
Hindi ko
each
alam kung
character.
anong tawag
After
dun sa
you
heat
land
na
a
yun eh.
heat
Ayan,
engager,
oh.
you can spend 1
Pag
stock
meron
of
ka na.
energy to use a heat dash. Which
Heat
lets you
dash?
quickly
Ayun,
dash
heat
in to
dash.
either connect combos
Thank you,
that
thank you,
otherwise
Yung.
could not be connected, or
Heat
if
dash.
the engager is blocked, you can just get right back up in their face to continue your offense. So let's pause and slow things
So
down
yun,
as we look at this
siguro doon tayo
example
mapapraning pag
between
naka-hit,
All
nasa heat
Lance's
state
Phoenix
na,
Smasher,
or
which
doon
is
tayo
one of his
maninibago
5 heat engager specialties.
sa ano na yun,
Landing a
sa
heat engager gives him a
Tekken
free
ngayon,
dash that
sa
he can
heat
use to
dash.
get close, but I actually don't think that this is a true combo. Nonetheless, he lands that cool launcher into throw combo from the trailer. Then he lands another Phoenix Smasher, and when you land a heat engager during heat mode, you're able to use a heat dash. to
Saan kaya
continue the
nila
combo.
nakuha yung mga
So,
gameplay
he spends
videos?
a stock
Binigay
of
lang
energy
ata sa ano
dash,
kasi parang
picks him
halos
up
lahat.
off the ground,
Pareha sila.
and
Ito,
finishes
pareha
with
sila.
a
Oh.
smash. Note that Paul now
Ni,
no
ano,
longer has any heat meter to work with for the rest of the round.
Yung main man sweep. Saan kaya nila nakuha to?
My favorite element of the heat system, though, is how it's used to
Pati sa
further
GameSpot,
define the
eh.
unique aspects of every character. Each character has at least
Hmm.
one completely unique advantage while in heat mode. For example, while in heat mode, King gets armor on his Jaguar,
May armor,
making him
may
a
ano,
grappler with an armored command
Armor.
run to get in on opponents. Kazuya, meanwhile, can execute his iconic electric wind god fist technique without having to be frame perfect on the input. What I also
excited
love
ako sa
about the
mga
heat system is that it's
mga
available
kachamba
right
ng
at the
ano.
start of every round.
Pangalan nito
It's not a
ng hit
comeback mechanic,
hit tuloy
you don't need to build up
ng
a
beta
meter in
testing.
order to gain access to it. You're free
Gagawin
to
ko
use
na
comeback
nakita yung
mechanic,
laser,
and you
tingin
don't
nga.
need to build up a meter in order to gain
Gagawin,
access
tignan
to
niyo yung
every
stats si
round.
Kazuya,
It's
talagang
not a
intended
comeback
niya na
mechanic,
talagang
you don't
laser, oh.
need to build up
Parang ayan no, naka-firm na galit na talaga siya. Parang alam niya nang nako-control niya na kung saan pupunta. And naka-brace up na siya. I like the stance. Tama naman 'yun. Parang ano kasi, ang idea na ito, gamay na ni Kazuya yung devil gene niya. Tapos yung sa dati, siguro sa dati, yung itsura ng mga laser niya, mukhang nile-let go niya lang yung laser. Parang ganyan. Parang naka-let go. Pero ngayon parang intended niya na, alam niya na kung saan itututok ko. Ito yung mga malalaking ito yung mga malalaking nagagawa ng mga maliliit na detalye tulad ng ganito. I like I like how they did this dito sa ano sa posing ni Kazuya pag may laser na. Ano na intended at intended niya na kung saan lalapa ganun.
Existing comeback mechanic from Tekken 7, Rage, does make a return, with it once again causing a character to go into a rage state once they reach a critical level of health.
Okay, may pagtitripan si Ate Jean eh.
Increases and you gain access to your ultra powerful rage art technique. That said, rage drives are a thing of the past.
Zoning
Largely
Kazuya.
because it's a mechanic that felt redundant due to the addition of the heat state and the advantages it provides. Another redundant,
Teka lang.
that said,
Ito, may gusto ko tignan eh.
into a rage state, when
Ulit.
rage does make a return, with it once
Okay.
again causing a character to go into a rage
nag-rage.
state
May
once they
ano
reach a critical level of
tignan
health.
natin yung ano.
While
Bago
in the
men,
rage
teka
state,
lang.
characters
Tignan
go
natin
into
to.
a rage state once
Ito.
they-
Ito yung recoverable ano Ito yung recoverable health bar. Pag tumama yung ano, yung rage,
reach a critical level.
nawawala. Pati siya nawalan? Hindi, tingnan nga natin. Baka kasi sumuntok. Sumuntok si Paul. Hindi, sumuntok! Ah, puta men. May na-absorb na atake. Sorry. Akin.
Once they reach a critical
May sumabay na atake.
level of health. While
May
in the
binago.
rage state,
Meron,
your
men,
damage
meron.
increases and
In-implement
you
si
gain access to
Unknown.
your ultra-powerful rage art technique. That
Nag-rage
said,
art?
rage drives are a thing of the past.
Pagka-rage art?
Largely because it's a mechanic that felt redundant.
Hindi siya nagre-recover. Or maybe baka isang parang isang hit lang. Tingnan natin kung kunwari si Loy nagsasasampal. Tingnan natin kung mag-recover yan.
Due to the addition of the heat
Pero
state
so far,
and
tingin
the
natin wala,
advantages it
diba?
provides. Another brand new element of Tekken 8 is the addition of a special control type, which is Tekken 8's
Parang a forward
new
2-1
attempt at
talaga
making
to eh.
its complex
Yung
fighting
ganito.
addition of
A
special
forward
control type,
2-1.
which is Tekken 8's
forward
new attempt
2-1.
at making its complex fighting system a little more approachable.
Sa Unknown. Ito back 4-4
With
yun eh.
special control mode, each button
Ay,
has
yung
a recommended
ano.
move and combo for each character.
Final boss si
There's a button
Unknown.
for
Tingnan
jump
natin.
combos, a button for grounded combos,
I'm waiting for
and
that.
a button for quick low attacks. The selected moves even change depending on what state you're in. While this allows new players to compete
Ayan.
with more
Pansin ko rin,
intermediate
pag
players in
kunwari
terms
yung
of
mga
damage
moves,
they're able to output, the key thing to keep in mind is that
pag yung mga moves, tawag dito, tumama ng as a poke, or hindi ka, basta any point na hindi ka kino-combo, talagang nawawala yung buhay mo. Pero pag once na na-combo ka, yun nga, na nagkakaroon ka ng recoverable health bar.
players using the special control scheme only have access to a very small selection of moves. The most interesting part though about the
Ayun,
special
nagkakaroon
control
ko.
scheme and the thing
So,
that
parang
really
ninerf
sets it
nila
apart from
yung
Street Fighter 6's new
combos
modern control scheme is the
in that
fact
part.
you can switch
Paano nga
between
naman
the
pag
classic
nakabawi,
special
di ba?
control styles mid-match
Eh di
with the
magre-recover.
press of a button.
Eh no,
This makes
oh.
it actually a fairly viable option for more experienced players as well, as
Tells
you
you.
could be playing the match out in the classic control scheme, suddenly have an opportunity for a big punish,
Then
quickly
I mean,
swap to the special control
parang mas
style,
na-excite ako
and
lalo
start
sa Tekken,
matching
sa
that
totoo.
combo without fear of it dropping. It also seems
Ngayon
like
lang
a
ako
great
na-excite
way to
sa
be able to
Tekken
quickly jump in with your
8
character and get a
ng
feel for what the
alam mo yung
combos
parang
are gonna look
todo
like
na i-touch.
without having to memorize
Kasi nakita mo na eh, di ba?
Just
Unlike
to be
before na
prepared. Those are all
inaano lang
pretty
sa
substantial
atin.
changes. So it's comforting to know that everything else
Tawag
still
dito
feels
na
like some good
si ganito, si ganyan na nasa Tekken 8 tapos walang
trailer,
trailer, walang gameplay. Ayan, walang ganito, walang gameplay.
One of my favorite changes
We-
to him is
we
that
don't
his
see it in
reverse arm
action.
slam combo has been simplified,
Ngayon at least
allowing
nakikita
him
ko
to
na.
go into the next throw in the chain
Ito
with
yung
a
mga klase
single
ng
button
gameplay yung
press
gusto ko
as opposed
makita.
to a series of inputs that need to be memorized. Now, he still does have the ladder, and those are probably more
Bumalik na ba yung
damaging
sabik
and
mo
harder
sa
to
tulad
break,
ng- no.
but as someone who's
Hindi ako nasabik
always
sa
loved
Tekken
the game,
7.
but was always intimidated by all the commands needed to do a full chain
Ang tagal
grab
kasi ilabas
combo,
ng edit, alam
I
kong wala nang
appreciate
background
having
for
at least
edit.
one that I could easily commit to
Kaya,
memory
feeling
and
ko,
rely
ano,
on pretty much from the get-go
Tsaka alam kong
of the
ano
character.
eh, yung mga
I wanna give a
kalas
shout
na
out to
wala,
Tekken
yung
8's
mga,
Command
basta
List 2,
ano,
which does a great job of giving
parang
extra
naka-training
context
wheels yung
to the
Tekken na
recommended moves for every
pinag-aralan ko ng sobrang tagal. Nakaka-deflate kaya yun. Nakakilig para sa mga baguhan, pero sa aming mga nagbatak talaga na inaral namin lahat yun, tapos biglang wala na lang.
Each of them containing
Ayun.
hundreds of techniques, and Bandai Namco is really putting in the effort by making them much more user-friendly.
Noon yun
After my playtime
pero
was over,
at
I
least
left
ngayon
with
parang mas
renewed enthusiasm to get into Tekken
na-excite
on a more
ako for
serious
the
level.
fact na
Tekken 8 looks phenomenal. It Its hits feel as
And
impactful as ever,
nakikita ko
and
na eh.
its iconic cast of characters are even more uniquely defined.
Tapos mas
thanks to the
adjusted na ako sa
There's
ganitong
still a
gameplay.
lot we have yet to see, but as
At
far as
alam
first
kong kahit anong
impressions go,
character yung piliin
Tekken
ko,
8 is a 9.
okay lang ako. Okay to the fact na hindi tatamaan yung ego ko pag natatalo ganyan. Kasi parang we're past behind that eh.
For more
Ano na
Tekken
ta?
8, make sure to
Uy!
check out
Gago
my interview
angas nun, men! Beshi Wap! Putang ina, men! Beshi
For more
Wap!
Tekken 8, make sure to check
Beshi
out my interview
Wap.
with Michael Murray and Katsuki
Gago
Nakamura.
angas!
And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
Paano na ito magtito na to? Ito yung ano eh. Galit ka sa tatay mo pero may tito ka na best friend. Sa bagay, dalawa yung tito niya na best friend. Yung isa ampon. Si Lee. Diba? Sa mga tito, G na G. Pero sa tatay, ano yun, no? Bad trip eh.